Hey everyone, so today we're going to learn the basics of shocks, and what better person to explain than a shock specialist, Mike Mahaney.
The importance of shocks on a race car is to control the oscillations of the car bouncing through holes and ruts and cornering through the turns. So the number one job of your shock on a race car is to control the car through the bumps and ruts and everything. And for example, if you took your shocks off and tried to go around the track, the car would be bouncing around uncontrollably. Or if you broke a shock during a race, it bounces around uncontrollably and you can't drive it as well. So number one would be to control that bouncing and keep it to a minimum so that you can control your race car driving it. The second thing that's important about shocks on a race car is to control the car during cornering. The car can be tuned to adjust cornering if you have conditions being tight or loose, and that can be tuned inside of the shock to adjust the way the car handles. Now, to control your car through cornering with shocks, most shocks come with a label on them that's going to give you the valving or dampening of the shock. And they'll come much like this. This one says right rear medium, and they'll come either standard, medium, rough, heavy, and that's to be able to tell you to tune the shock for different conditions. Like this shock will work good in medium condition track on the right rear. Basic, right? A little more advanced would be this shock is labeled with rebound and compression numbers, and these come from when you dyno the shock on a shock dyno, and you're going to use those numbers to tune a little more closely. You can make smaller adjustments to tune your race car in by changing these numbers just a little bit, whereas with the medium, standard, heavy would be much larger changes. I mentioned that some shocks come with rebound and compression numbers on them. So that you know what rebound and compression is, the easy way is compression is when the shock is compressing, going in. Rebound is when the shock is in extension or coming out. Now compression is the easy one. Everybody can understand that the more resistance to the shock going in, it's stiffer, so the higher the number on the compression, the harder it is to push the shock in. Now rebound, people get confused often. They think of the word rebound like in basketball, like a ball bouncing, like you bounce the ball and the ball bounces back. And that's not exactly how a shock works. Rebound in a shock is the resistance to extension. So we talked about that rebound is when the shock is in extension. That's the resistance that the shock is using to how hard it is to pull the shaft out of the shock. So that was some basics on shocks.
See you guys next time.